I know I say this a lot, but Hawks is screwed. Again. But this time, I think it's for real. What's up? It's Truth Hero, and welcome back to another My Hero Academia Chapter review. Boku no Hero Academia Chapter 243 of the manga. We'll be discussing everything from Deku's mom, to the internships, and of course, the new villain that was just unveiled. Now, fair warning, this will be a bit different from my other chapter reviews, as I'm going to focus about half of it on a theory surrounding this new villain and how it relates to Hawks and Endeavor, and how we could actually see Hawks' death in the first few chapters of this arc. So let's jump in. I think it's so sweet that Deku receives this letter from Eri thanking him for being her hero. Seriously, go back and read it. All of her spelling errors are really adorable. And to top it off, Deku's now officially a hero who receives fan mail. It's great to see Mama Midoriya again, and it's cool that she doesn't worry about Deku anymore. But dang, how many tears can this woman cry? I guess it runs in the family, but in all seriousness, I legit thought a water villain was attacking the Midoriya residents from outside. That's how crazy these waterfalls were. Then we transition towards the villains, and we have this conversation between Slide and Go and Hawks. Slide and Go tells Hawks that you can't just wander around, you can't just fly off anytime you want to, and that my rank is higher than yours, you gotta listen to me. And then Skeptic, bam, intervenes and just absolutely ends this whole man's career. He puts him in his place as he explains, what? Your rank is higher than his? No. You're a twig, okay? Compared to Hawks, compared to the guy who can get intel on any hero and deep within the government, you're nothing compared to him. Take a seat. The real interesting thing about this Hawks cameo is when he's talking to the government, and he mentions that his communication is now being monitored by the League of Villains, and of course the Liberation Army executive Skeptic, who has these devices implanted in his wing so he can spy on everything. And they might have a bromance here. Skeptic and Hawks, they can bond over coffee and making fun of other lesser members of their new organization, but this begs the question of where Hawks' loyalty lies right now. We know Dabi still doesn't really trust Hawks, but Skeptic now loves him for his intel, and this could cause a potential rift between the Liberation Army executives and the League of Villain members. They may be joined in the new Paranormal Liberation Front, but let's be real. We all know who's really running the show. Shigaraki wears the pants in this relationship, and when push comes to shove, the Liberation Army members will have to yield to the League of Villains. If Skeptic has this blind spot for Hawks just because of the intel that he's gathering for him, it could lead to the League of Villains and the Liberation Army members being careless and getting arrested. So Dabi and crew still have to be wary of Hawks and not give too much information, especially concerning the Nomu. On to the internships. Welcome to the Endeavor Hero Agency. Psych! Endeavor has no chill. And you know who else has no chill? Shoto. He talks back to his father, and he just takes it. Bakugo also, of course, has no chill, and he can put up with Deku, Shoto, and even Endeavor's rough personality, so long as he gets to see what the top hero agency looks like. And Deku, of course, is a kiss-ass. I love this dynamic between these three in Endeavor. Now, I'm not sure how Deku will benefit his one-for-all quirk besides just general hero experience with Endeavor, but we'll save this for the discussion of the video. As for Bakugo, All Might is completely correct when he says, you guys have the same demeanor and personality, and you're chasing the same goal of being the #1 hero. You can certainly learn a lot. Now, I see Bakugo as a very hands-on student. I'm not sure why I see it that way, but he is. He's not going to really take advice from people, especially if he doesn't really respect them. And Endeavor, luckily, is not this type of teacher. He's going to show Bakugo hands-on. He's going to say, follow me, follow my lead, learn from behind, and that is perfect for Bakugo's development as a hero. One thing to note before these three get to fighting villains is something Endeavor says. He admits to Deku, Shoto is not me. And this is a very noteworthy moment on his journey to mending his ways and really asking for forgiveness. It's the first time that he's told someone outside of his family, I was wrong. And I commend that. Good job. Also, Bakugo is really excited to learn from Endeavor. Who's excited? This guy. I mean, I'm pretty hype as well. Now on to the new villain in My Hero Academia. So we have this mystic guru looking guy floating on bubbles, maybe? and then throwing them down to the crowd. Now, I do believe he's a minor villain, just there to cause conflict and actually bring Hawks and Endeavor together. Maybe he's a religious leader or cult leader, and that would be cool if My Hero Academia actually tackled that topic, but regardless, it keeps the series going, and that's what I like about it. However, what he says is actually really important because it has a clue into Hawks' fate. This guy, we'll call him Mystic, says, "The smile of Hades shines wryly on thee." Of course, invoking the Greek god of the underworld, Hades or Hades, and even the underworld itself. Remember this, okay? Remember Hades. Hawks is currently en route to the scene, as well as Endeavor. They're both converging in on this guy, and Hawks says, "Man, talk about bad timing," as he's reading the Liberation Army book. Two heroes working together is absolutely fine, but Endeavor and Hawks again, this will draw unnecessary attention to Hawks, especially if Endeavor sees that book he's reading. This could blow Hawks' entire cover. Also, keep in mind, the villains are monitoring Hawks' communication, so how can he just pass this off to Endeavor without revealing too much? He's gonna really have to think on his feet. And what if Endeavor does call him out? "Oh, what piece of literature do you have there, sir?" "Oh, this book? No, this stupid Liberation Army book by that crazy kook Destro?" Huh. Then the Liberation Army is going to know that he's not really about freedom, and the League of Villains will probably see right through him. Or if he says, "Oh, this great novel by this great person Destro that wants to lead people to freedom," Endeavor's going to be like, "What's wrong with you, you young impressionable hero? Why are you succumbing to that villain material?" Something's going to give here. And what if Endeavor really does call him out? I think Hawks would definitely fight him. I mean, Hawks has already, as far as we know, killed Best Jeanist to prove his loyalty to the villains. So he'll definitely fight Endeavor. I mean, he'll definitely engage in some type of conflict to keep his cover. This is not looking good for Hawks, any way you spin it. The real kicker here is the metaphor that Hawks actually brings to the story. And if you're curious about it, watch this video here where I break it all down. But basically, Hawks is Icarus. He's in way over his head. He's in too deep with the villains. He's in too deep being a double agent. And he's presumably killed Best Jeanist. Hawks is flying way too close to the sun. And what happened when Icarus flew too close to the sun and burned his wings and died? Where did he go? Oh, that's right, the underworld, Hades. Also, Endeavor kind of represents the sun as well. Hawks has been chasing the top spot in Hero Society and has always been at Endeavor's back, just like Endeavor was at All Might's back. Also, when Hawks and Endeavor fought the high-end Nomu, Hawks' feathers literally burned up in their combo attack. Hawks is going to get his wings singed real soon. Horikoshi is also a huge fan of using Greek mythology. The prison Tartarus, which holds Hero Society's most wanted, gets its name from the abyss tormenting wicked souls and the prison housing the Titans. Also, in the mythology, many people have actually escaped from Tartarus, so if you're looking for All for One and Stain to have some sort of prison break arc, you're not wrong. Even if I'm reading into this too much, and this minor villain wasn't invoking Greek mythology, something just tells me that Hawks, with his high standing within the villain organization, and Endeavor, the #1 hero, both converging on the same spot, there's gonna be a conflict between these two characters. But let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Will Hawks fly too close to the sun and meet his fate in Hades? What I'd like to discuss today is Deku's One for All quirk and him sort of gaining new power and new quirks from it under the tutelage of Endeavor. Now I have some notes, so excuse me if I look down, but really it's an interesting thing to talk about because we can see how Shoto would benefit from training under Endeavor. I mean, he's his son, they have similar quirks. We can see how Bakugo would benefit because they have the same personality and really they have explosive power as well. But Deku, it's a little bit different. Now, I'm glad that All Might said he's fine and he knows how to lock and unlock this power, so I don't expect, Black Whip to go crazy and him to automatically Black Venom Spider-Man out of the blue. But we do know that One for All is a quirk that's triggered by emotion. So what I'm really wondering is, if we're not headed to some dark territory or very serious territory, or unless Endeavor starts beating Shoto up in front of Deku, how is Deku going to access these parts of One for All? Like we said, he was in the middle of an intense training battle when Black Whip first came out. and that vestige was really forthcoming. He said, this kid is not using his powers right, I gotta teach him what's up. But I don't know what other situation would trigger that for Deku again. Now, I have one idea. And that's something's going to happen in this battle between Endeavor and Hawks. Now, I'm not sure what emotion is going to be revealed next. I think the emotion that did it in the training battle was sort of desperation, right? Or, at the critical moment. I wonder if Deku could get some sort of quirk by sadness or, extreme pain. That seems to trigger things. I don't see him having a very, very happy moment and then all of a sudden Shimura and Nana comes out and it's like, hey, let me teach you my quirk. I don't see that happening. So given that we need a very critical moment and it has to be a very serious emotion, what is going to happen in this battle between Hawks, Endeavor, and this new villain? Something's going to happen during this internship. Now, one idea is that Endeavor gets hurt. Endeavor gets, something happens to him in the battle, which would absolutely wreck Shoto Todoroki because he's right there. We saw how, emotional he was just watching him on TV, and he didn't really even like his father at that point. I'm sure he had some deep feelings. Bakugo would be interesting because he's sort of rational in these situations, and he'd go after the villain. But Deku might get very, not to put it weirdly, but triggered by seeing a pro hero get injured, and this could unlock one of the quirks. Maybe, like we said, Deku might not have quirks that are all combat related. Maybe Deku sees Endeavor hurt and down for the count, and he unlocks a quirk that lets him recover people or heal them, or at least put up a barrier and defend them while Bakugo and Shoto maybe handle this villain. The other thing is Deku might unlock a quirk with emotion between him and Bakugo. So maybe Endeavor's teaching really does have an effect on them, and especially for Bakugo, maybe Deku and Bakugo as rivals are really competing for that #1 hero spot and #1 spot in their class. So maybe this sort of competition, triggers a healthy emotion of, a very serious but critical emotion of competition, and he gets a quirk that way. And maybe he gets another combat quirk, and maybe it's, rivals the power of Bakugo. That could be a happy way to do this. But regardless, if we are going to see some quirk development in this arc, and I think we will. I mean, Deku still has 6, 7, correct me if I'm wrong, somewhere like that, at least 6 quirks to unlock. He's gonna have to start doing this. I mean, we can't just have 6, can we? Can we have 6 arcs devoted to unlocking 1 quirk each? That might get a little boring. So it's, I think, now or never. He needs to unlock these emotions now or never, and this opportunity with Hawks and Endeavor and this new mysterious villain and this internship and his friends and Bakugo and Shoto competing, it's just a great melting pot for that to happen. So really, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm curious to find out. So as always, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know down in the comments below, how will this happen? How will Deku unlock the necessary emotions for One for All? How will Bakugo train under Endeavor? And will Hawks fly too close to the sun and join the ranks of the dead and maybe Best Jeanist in Hades? Let me know down below. If you like My Hero Academia content and these manga reviews, consider enrolling at UA today by clicking subscribe. And until next time, plus ultra.